The Guy Harvey Ocean Foundation is honored to be the official charity of the Sports Fishing Championship. Through this partnership and the support of donors like you, future generations will enjoy and benefit from a naturally balanced ocean ecosystem. Our education programs, both in the classroom and online, bring to life the work needed to make sure we have clean oceans for decades to come. Join us today at www.ghof.org.
Sometimes saying no can be really difficult. It's hard to set boundaries, to give yourself space and time. Hop water means never having to choose between having fun or missing out. A sparkling hop water full of flavor and packed with mood-boosting benefits that's non-alcoholic with no calories, no carbs, and no sugar. So go out there and get up to no good.
Serious. You are as excited to wake up for a 4 a.m. fishing trip as you were when you were a kid. It means winning 3 World Sailfish Championships. It means you know what you need and what you don't. Being serious means seeking out the ultimate fishing machine, which is what Peter Miller has found in the unmatched handling, speed, and comfort of an Invincible.
It's the simple things, like spending a day at the beach, splashing in the water, playing in the sand, and creating sandcastle masterpieces. Rediscover fun and family on the beautiful white sand beaches of Gulf Shores and Orange Beach.
SFC coverage of the Gulf Coast Masters is brought to you by Invincible Boats, Centered Wellness, and by Gulf Shores and Orange Beach Tourism.
Bringing you live updates of this third and final day as the hours wind down. They took off 2 days ago from Orange Beach Marina there in Orange Beach, Alabama for the Gulf Coast Masters. Stop number 4 of 11 on the Sport Fishing Championship. We're in the Gulf Division. There's already been one Gulf Division standalone event. That was at Venice just about a month ago. But here at the Gulf Coast Masters, there's similar waters. I'm Robbie Floyd with Ronnie Moore, Peter Miller down in Florida, our alternate studios. And guys, a similar fishery that we were dealing with a month ago, and they're catching them like they did a month ago.
Yeah, the playing field, we've seen a lot of anglers and teams make that 100-mile trek over to the edge of Mississippi Canyon, right off the coast of Venice, making that run from Orange Beach, spending about 2 hours or so running by boat, which means they only have limited time left to get back before check-in time.
It's all about catching those blue marlin, the sailfish, the white marlin. These are our catch alerts for the day. Bimini Babe, these are all up since we actually went off air earlier on CBS Sports Network. So they did catch them like we thought, and some variety, and we saw some movement. Look at that. Quantified, who's been hammering the sailfish, finally catch that elusive blue marlin. Guys, that could be the key to victory.
And Peter, we were talking about it. 7 sailfish equals 525 points. Add in a white marlin for them. That put them to 650. They were only 1 marlin away from taking the title of this event possibly, and that blue marlin puts them at 1,000 catch points so far.
Just like we talked about, that's the way to do it. Just stick with a plan. So we got Quantified in the lead with 1,000 points. That is quite a comeback. I'd say don't call it a comeback. They've been here for years.
Yeah, they have, and they keep catching fish. It's not like they were like Team Bandito, who had a great day one and then kind of backed off since then. Quantified's kind of been building day after day after day. Might not be all blues, but every fish accounts for points. So let's talk about Bandito. They made a pretty long run. They were looking for that first blue marlin of the tournament because you get that extra 100 bonus points if you catch the first blue marlin of the tournament, and they did just that. Again, there's your day one catch alerts, and as they progress
3
through the day,
o'clock.
but again, they had to run for quite a while to get out there. It was a shotgun start. It was a mass exodus out of Orange Beach. When they got there, it didn't really take them that long to catch one, Ronnie.
Yeah, and they were the first ones to catch one, but that eagerness of none on the scoreboard, and you hook up with one, Robbie, you want to make sure you're efficient and land it.
Ashley Wade was definitely hooked up.
Bobby and I used to fish together on a center console, and we've made our way to this big, beautiful boat, and we're still having fun together. I haven't been on the boat in a few years because I had a baby last year, so we've got a 1-year-old, but I'm glad to be back out here catching fish.
Oh, hey.
Oh, stop!
He's right here!
Put the fish bait out!
Put the fish out! He's all over it! Blue marlin!
Reel it in, Ashley!
Let him have it, Ashley! Let him have it! Give it some slack! Give it some slack! Give it some slack, Ashley! All right, put it in gear!
Put it in gear, Ashley.
This is the second golf tournament. The first golf tournament, Bandito had fish on, but they couldn't get them to the boat.
Don't get crazy, Ashley! He's not hooked good! Can I go in reverse? You ready, Ashley?
Yeah.
Let's go! Hey, we need a tag on this fish! This is gonna be mean and quick!
She's like bionic the way she's reeling. That's Jamie Summers right there, bionic woman.
People have no idea what you're talking about. You're old, Peter.
It's okay. As long as you like it, you're the same age as me.
Let's get him, girl!
It is perfect, though, how that captain's backing that boat in and she's just cranking the whole time. Right?
Yeah, what a blue marlin for Team Bandito.
Stay with him, Ashley. All right, nice and easy, guys.
Now that is a comeback.
We got him up and down. Let's be nice and easy.
1 year after having a baby, and she's in the chair
nice
fighting
and easy.
a jumbo.
How much drag we got on it?
Drag, 18 pounds.
All right, keep it.
We're good, we're good. Come on, hook. Come on, okay, learn how you cook, guys.
She's fighting for every inch out of that rear.
No. I want to see him get up and get going.
I think it's more like 16 or 17.
Let's let him get up, and then we'll see what we're dealing with.
Talking about their drag percentage.
All right, here we go, Ashley. Going in reverse.
A lot more factors.
Here we go. This is our shot.
Fish and
this is our shot, guys.
Sport Fishing Championship, you have the boat.
This is our shot. Here we go.
Drag on the rod.
We're gonna go get it.
And obviously, when you're supposed to power winch them, and when you're supposed to let them do their thing.
This is it.
And then you got the assist on the seat that turns the seat towards the fish. Because if you don't have that guy back there, you're going to get cut off somewhere. So he's got to spin the chair.
There he is right there, guys. Everybody just stay with me. Way to go, guys! Y'all wanted to go blue marlin fishing, here we are. That's a great tag fish, guys. Get him, Ashley. Get him, baby.
Off of that encouragement, backing that boat up to that fish while she's cranking the whole time.
Open the door, Alex.
Open the door.
Several hundred pounds. These aren't the white marlin that we saw in the Dominican Republic. These are bigger. Look at it, backing that boat in. The waves crashing over, and she's just cranking her heart out.
He's right there, Alex.
Right there.
And this is the moment where you get your shot at it. And if you miss, sometimes they'll dive down because they don't like that boat that close, and they will go down and deep and dirty.
Here we go, Alex. That's how Bandito rolls.
That's why we mentioned it earlier in the day on the CBS broadcast about how every single person in this boat has a key role, including the guy who grabs that leader right there to make it a qualified catch.
All right, guys.
We have our own cameraman. You see their cameraman verifying the result.
You don't like that, buddy?
Open the door.
Hugs all around.
Hey, Tucker, don't stop.
And again, getting done what they couldn't get done when they left from Grand Island, Venice just a month ago, and some redemption for Bandito.
It is crazy, Robbie. Thinking about it, though, the first blue marlin of the tournament gets you bonus points, but we saw in the first event of the season, Breathe Easy did not hold that lead on the final day. Then we see Sin Prisa get the first fish in St. Augustine, not necessarily take the title there. Will Bandito be able to catch one more to take the title back from Team Quantified?
Yeah, I'm not sure that we've had a leader after day 1 or day 2 still stay out the entire time, and that could be the case today. But either way, Bandito did what they had to do. They got that first blue marlin, that 350-point fish plus the extra 100-point bonus. That's getting her done, as they say. All right, next up, Crawgator. Day 1, they caught one as well. Another blue marlin. Again, this was later on in the day, but again, it takes a little while to run out their positions. Bill Butler on board with this one. That's the owner, it seemed like, from the Venice Marina. So I think he spent a little time out there in the rigs and the platforms and got it done as well on Crawgator. Crawgator, a team that finished 6th at the Venice round. So they're in this championship hunt as well. Again, 6th in event points. You throw in all those catch points. They're looking to catch more here as well. And Friday was day number 1 of this tournament because we had to push it back due to weather.
That's one thing, Robbie. When you look at the points race, another 350 points for a blue marlin does not seem like a lot. But if one of these teams that has one blue marlin that's in a big tie catches 2 blue marlin and gets 700 catch points, they will move up that points race for the year a whole bunch because of their position in this tournament. That's such a huge bonus. Thinking about Team Quantified, thinking about Team Bandito, 3,000 and possibly 3,500 points for those teams. That's huge for the points race.
Absolutely, and even in this situation right here, Crawgator only has 1 blue marlin for the week as it stands right now. 1 sailfish could make a massive difference for them.
He's less than 100 feet.
Did you notice the way they were cruising around the rig and they made a complete hard turn around each corner of the rig, and then the fish came out and slammed it?
So what does that tell you? Where was the fish, or so the spotter up at the top identified something or saw something and made that move?
Yep, he was probably looking at baits and he saw these guys come by and he saw those baits coming through the surface, and he just had to take a look to inspect what was going on, and then they try to knock them out with their bills and eat the dead prey, whatever they think it is. That's a nice fish right there. It paid off for them.
They all count the same in the SFC as long as they're caught and released successfully. But yeah, when you're judging blue marlin, that is a very dandy. That's a good one.
In a perfect world, you're catching 7, 8 blue marlin that are in the 100-pound range. You want to reel them in quick, get them, mark them, and go. But again, that's not always the case. You can get a big boy and take that time, and that is a big boy.
Yeah, we've had some instances over in Costa Rica when the striped marlin show up, and they're 25, 30, 40 pounds out of nowhere when everyone's catching sailfish, and you can get a lot of points very quickly.
You'll get you some of that, Big Daddy. You got 3 more days in this, Mr. I'm going to catch one more in a little while. Yeah, he comes. Way to go, Captain.
Good job, Skip. Good job, Andre.
Now we're doing good, cuz. First day out here, it was a little sloppy this morning. Made a few runs. We run all the way down to 989. Water got a little green. Tried to make a little move down there, but it didn't happen. Swung back out here and caught one here in about an hour. So it's a great day down here today.
The Raging Cajun and Crawgator happy about that one. That was day number 1. They were looking to build off of that success. But again, there were 45 boats that left on day 1, and they will all return on day 3 by 7 p.m. Central Time. And there's the standings after day number 1 with those 2 catches, 2 blue marlin catches, and that first place bonus points. Bandito on top.
And we saw that in Dominican Republic. We've seen that in other events. The guy who's leading on day 1 may struggle on another day. We have seen that so far. Will Bandito get back in the action today?
We'll recap day 2 when we come back.
A day out on the water could go great. Or it could have a few minor setbacks. Things could get rough. Or you could lose that $900 smartphone. Whatever the problem, Yugo provides unmatched premium protection for any water sports adventure. Yugo. To get yours, visit YugoWear.com or simply scan the QR code on the screen. And remember, just add water.
Some call it joie de vivre, the joy of life. In Louisiana, it's our way of life. From music that shakes up your senses to food that wakes up your palate. That joy vibrates in every note we play and spices up every meal we serve. So come live life to the fullest. Come one, come y'all, come feed your soul in Louisiana. I'm Sean Ardway, inviting you to plan your trip at louisianatravel.com.
So, you want this, but you can't have it without this, or this, or this. Until now, introducing a new way to travel, intranationally. Get all that international charm without ever leaving the country. Right here in St. Augustine, Ponte Vedra. Get all that culture, all the cuisine from that culture. You're welcome. All the gram-worthy sites from that hashtag culture. It's right here at home. St. Augustine, Ponte Vedra. Travel intranationally.
Get it, slip it, cuff it, check it. Talk to doctor now and share it.
Get it, slip it, cuff it, check it. High blood pressure silently affects millions of Americans. Staying on top of your blood pressure is as simple as these 4 easy steps. Self-monitoring is power. Visit manageyourbp.org to learn more.
When it comes to performance, comfort, and functionality, we've got you covered. Performance apparel designed by anglers to make your time on the water better than ever. Salt Life, the official apparel sponsor of the Sport Fishing Championship.
SFC coverage of the Gulf Coast Masters is brought to you by Garmin, the Guy Harvey Ocean Foundation, and by St. Augustine in St. Johns County, Florida's historic coast.
We're bringing together the best billfish tournaments around the country, around international waters as well, to crown one champion and award $1 million at the end of our season in Puerto Rico. And each and every one of these venues are great fisheries, but also great places to vacation as well. Robbie Floyd with Ronnie Moore. Peter Miller's down there in Florida, been on baby duty this week after his wife Alicia had a brand new baby, Maverick. And the ladies get to experience what these venues look like. The ladies, let's go on site with Site 1, the Gulf Forest Twins. And I've been there many times at Orange Beach and around in Gulf Shores, and it is awesome. I've taken off out of this marina. You don't have to go very far to catch some big fish. And the Gulf Forest Twins get to experience that where we do not. Peter, you've been here before. You know what it's like. You don't have to run very far, and there's a lot to do away from the site as well.
There's almost too much to do where you can't even focus, and especially when it comes to fishing, you can go out there and catch red snapper and grouper and yellow edge grouper, you name it, and then you can run and catch giant tunas, and then you can catch plenty of marlin, sailfish, white marlin, you name it. But those waters are just rich. I love it.
Yeah, very fertile. My buddy Scott took me out in there. We went to some of those rigs, probably the same rigs that they're going to. Let's just say the pros have much more success than Robbie Floyd does. Catch alerts from day number 2. We see Patron, and when we saw them take off, Ronnie, on day 2 or on day 1, it seemed like they might have went the farthest out. On day 2, they finally get their catch at 10:30 in the morning.
Yeah, some of the teams, it seemed like, Robbie, they ran straight to their area and started fishing. Patron seemed like they fished their way to being farther than anyone else on camera away in this field. Team Patron, hey, it paid off for them with a blue marlin on Saturday morning.
Led by Tom Shoemate, Patron with their blue marlin. Again, it seems to be a pattern, or you know it is a pattern, around those rigs, around those platforms, around that deep water, and you really don't have to go far to get out to that deep water.
You got to look at it like a desert, and then all of a sudden you see this massive structure, and that's where the bait's going to congregate and accumulate, and that's where the predators are going to come in and just chow down, and that's why they're there, trolling those baits and throwing out live baits.
Keep going, down!
Tom Shoemate on board, Brian Case, Negan Goodwin, Preston Savage, Olivia Shoemate, Ben Troxel, Daryl Weigelt. It's a full crew on these boats. Some have minimal teams, some have like full on board, like, hey, we can't take a cameraman, we're pretty stacked up right now. But we do have 8 cameramen out on the boat, in addition to every single boat has their own cameraman because they have to document the thing.
And we're really starting to get a better picture of the personality of some of these teams as we check out this Blue Marlin, just making amazing jumps that, you know, the viewers can enjoy, but the angler out there may not like the crazy jumps. Even though they are, like Peter said, they're consistent in the same direction. You never want them changing directions or surging at you too much with that slack. But
are you telling me the Crawgator's got, you know, some fun bunch in them?
Yeah, they definitely have some characters. Hey, we've got to see them for 2 events so far. We'll probably be able to see them in Biloxi and maybe even South Padre as well.
Yeah, we saw Badonkadonk having some fun when they left out of the Louisiana area and stop number 1. Let's go on board Patron. This was yesterday on day number 2 in their Blue Marlin Cat.
Frays in the line usually equals lost fish. And bottom line, you know, we got the fish in. We got the leader. It counted. And it's not something that normally happens on a fish that size. You don't normally get to make mistakes. And like I said, it was a great fish. So honestly, the fact that the leader didn't break was pretty big deal. So that made everybody's day.
And Peter, that's kind of a pucker factor right there when he's talking about the leader not breaking. So he knew it was a high possibility, and they kept from doing that.
Yeah, the fish was either wrapped up or something. Something was a little strange there, but luckily it didn't chafe off, and I think that's what he was referring to. So they got the release, and they're on the boards.
329, my favorite number, a released Blue Marlin from All In. This time it was Greg Treener. Captain Blake Bridges putting them on those fish. We saw a lot of information from Blake, and it looks like the stuff paid off, whether it be the teasers or how to keep the live bait alive. Blake did a great job, and they did a great job out on the water with Greg Treener.
We got all the teasers are in. They're on the deck of the boat. They're settling in nicely. Everyone's calm, cool, collected.
This is a different atmosphere than we saw out of Bandito, isn't it? Remember the yelling, the craziness, the mayhem?
In between the 2 marks.
Sure did.
You could take a nap on the All In right now.
Yeah, well, when they have the headsets on, Robbie, I feel like you can talk at the inside voice and be able to get the point across. Plus, like Peter was saying earlier in the day, very calm seas. It's not windy. There's not a bunch of waves. There's not a bunch of other splash happening and commotion. So you can get your point across a lot easier for this team. But one thing, Peter, to mention, we didn't see the seats in Dominican Republic. Obviously, each event maybe has different rules. But once an angler grabs that rod and sits in that seat and gets strapped in, there is no passing it off. If you're struggling to get it in, you have to be the one to get that in. We've seen some fights 30 minutes long. We've seen some fights a few hours long.
That's right. We even had a 22-hour fight in one of the last tournaments that ended up breaking off. But I mean, we're talking. You better have your endurance up. You better take your 5-hour energy.
And drink a lot of water too. You don't think about it. You're out there on the boat, the sun beating down. You've got to drink, because at this point, and you get to those extended times, I'm sure you've been on boats with people that actually start locking up. That lactic acid you were talking about, mountain bikers. I mean, you lock up, you can't do anything, and they can't grab that reel from you.
I've fought 300-pound swordfish and drank 8-9 bottles of water during the fight that last, close to 3 hours. And I also had a guy on the boat with me. He locked up one day. I'm pouring Gatorades, giving him everything I could, but he just couldn't get right. We had to get back to shore and get him an IV.
Strategy here.
Very calm boat there, huh?
When they pull back on the rod, you don't reel. When you start to go down with the rod tip, you reel up that slack and keep it tight for that Blue Marlin. And then also, they have to guide their line into the reel, because, Peter, like you were mentioning, it stacks up on one side or in the middle too much. That's going to put some tension on the line that's unnecessary and can break you off.
Yeah, especially when you get really close to the fish and you're winding up on that wind-on leader, and you get that half of that wind-on leader into the spool. If that stacks up in the center and your reel locks up and that fish surges, it is over. And the angler could actually go out the boat with it, because you're still connected unless he's tethered to the back of that chair with his bucket seat. As you see him sliding back and forth, a lot of the guys will tie it to the stanchion on that fighting chair. That's a smart move, just in case there's a problem.
I'm here to tell you, Peter, if we go out, make sure you hook me in. Make sure I buckle up.
Yeah.
Make sure you pour some.
I'll put you in a straitjacket.
You're going to need to get some fluids in me because holding my 10-pound daughter for 30 minutes this morning, I was locking up with my lactic acid, just holding my arm still. So I can't imagine.
Let's not talk about baby stories.
Yeah,
Remember,
I'm just saying.
He's got one. He's got a brand new one there as well. All in, he's babying this fish though, and we've seen that. At times, if you try and pull too hard though, that fish will want to submerge and go down a little bit deeper. So you got to kind of take your time. Get that leader up to the rock.
I'm not sure he's babying it, Robbie. I'm not sure he's babying it. I think that fish is giving him a little run for the money. He's kind of laying low, and he's kind of trying to work him up without the fish freaking out. And I think he's doing a stellar job, and he's got that, up above cranking down, because that's a really nice vantage point. When you're, up there, you get great leverage when you come down from on top and crank down.
I was trying to cover my bases, Peter, because earlier I said he was laying it to it. So this time I was trying to say he's being softer. That way, he won't get mad at me. Yeah, Greg Trainer.
That's right. So you
on board.
Yeah, you're in the middle.
Yeah, I'm right there. Carson Hall, Noah Miller, James Pateo, and Chad Wold also on board. And it's a team effort as well. We saw in the Dominican Republic where you actually had 3 anglers on board. He is wore out.
On the sonar, and we rounded up on the fish, got in front of it. Fish came tight and started jumping out there, and you could see it. I'm happy to have a fish on the board. I need about 1 or 2 more.
And with all in, that would be their only fish as it stands right now. Again, anybody can catch anything, Ronnie, and also we don't get all the reports. There's 48 boats that took off, but we're not hearing all of them. They're out there quite a ways and don't have communication. Badonkadonk, we know they caught one on day 2 around midday, another blue marlin from Badonkadonk. We've seen this team before catching fish.
Yeah, we have. They're a good bunch as well to be around. But Team All In was correct. They do need 2 more blue marlin. That would give them just enough to take the unofficial lead right now. But over to Badonkadonk, and it's a family affair there as well. The teamwork that this team showed earlier in the day is a reason why they have a scoreable blue marlin on their tally.
Michelle Hardgroder, remember back in Venice with catches, they actually had 2 blue marlin there. This event, 1 blue marlin, 1 sail, kind of a mixed bag, but they'll take them any way they can get them.
That's sailfish, Peter. 75 points. Add that to the 350, and they're going to break a lot of ties from the teams that just have 1 blue marlin.
Hey, I didn't know there was going to be math on this test, but anyway, what I did notice was they actually got a bite on camera, and that was pretty special. You don't see that every day. So good work with the cameraman and good work to the team.
And that was also probably the guy up at the top, looking down, going, he's coming after, we got a chaser or whatever. And a lot of people don't realize that Michelle's cranking there is they don't hit from straight back. They'll swipe at it from the side as well.
Oh, yeah, they'll come at you, and you have to kind of let them go away. If they eat it coming at you, you have to pause, spin the boat, and wait till they cut an angle so you can get that circle hook to find its mark in the corner of their mouth. Or you just want it to eat and go away, and then you can slowly push that drag up, and you'll get them. A good rule of thumb is if the fish is going to eat, you want to hit them in the 3rd wave. You want to have that bait in the 3rd wave if you're trolling. If you can't get them when they're real close to the boat, just leave it there, and they'll always turn around and do that going away bite, and that's one of the best bites you'll have.
This is Michelle Hardgroder. The sailfish was caught by Sammy Hardgroder a little bit later. Jesse Mullins.
Good job to Jesse Mullins.
Yeah,
that's right.
He's working it from every angle, shoots it from behind, gets the actual fish catch, shows the struggles of Michelle. And let me tell you, it is a struggle. It is not easy, and there's the support as well. Back in the seat, back fighting once again. Always big.
Nice one, Michelle.
Somebody want to grab this on the fin. Hell yeah, pretty good. Somebody grabbed it.
That's a nice release right there.
Yes, sir! Good job. Good job, dude. Much bigger. Good job.
Don't leave me hanging.
The angler that did all the work.
He had to hold her other hand up so he could just give it a high five. And again, that sail also makes a big difference. That one sailfish caught by Sammy, she could be the one that kind of puts him over the top because, again, Badonkadonk finished 5th at the first stop.
Chase our luck. Now we're going to catch up with everybody.
And she's right. She did.
Sambo next.
5th at the first stop, and currently Badonkadonk tied are in 8th place right now, and they're breaking that tie for 9th. Southern Charm, another team to look for. The reason being they finished 3rd in that first round. Southern Charm with not 1, but 2 blue marlin here at Orange Beach, Alabama. You see it at 5:30 or so in the afternoon. They released a blue marlin, and they caught 2 this week, and that is the major difference. That's 700 points.
Yeah, that 700 points is going to be huge for their catch point total for the year, which carries through all the events they participate in. And then if they can, like you said, 700 points is going to have them in the top 5 most likely in this event. Getting good top 5 points, and then also with a 3rd place, this team is well on their way to having 3 great events for the SFC championship.
Yeah, they could do back-to-back thirds, and we'll try and do the math here a little later.
We got a great team with Captain Landon Bell and my 2 mates, Chase Richardson and Connor McLeod, have been with me for years and have done a great job. And so it's been a little bit slow action here so far. We were, normally we're known for catching fish late and winning tournaments. So this is not really concerning us because we know there's many times on the last day we've been able to catch fish and race in just in time to get inside by the time limit. In fact, last year we had 2 events where we made it with 12 minutes to spare and 8 minutes to spare. So we're looking forward to getting out here and catching some marlin either later today or tomorrow and pulling it out on this tournament.
Yeah, it's a little bit slow, a little bit got to be patient, but this is how it is. Starts off this way and then boom, we get the first one and then that just starts it. And they keep coming in after that. So we just got to be patient today, but we can feel it. It's coming. It's coming.
Well, they were way ahead of schedule. Again, this is still a day and a half in the tournament. They still had a day and a half left and going back-to-back almost. Southern Charm with 2 blue marlin. Tara Hogaboom in the chair fighting for their team's success, and they've had a lot of it. Again, in 3rd currently, tie that to the 3rd before. They're trying to win that $1 million, Rodney. This is how you get it.
Yeah, it can put you well on your way. 2 events into the Gulf Division. We'll have 1 in 2 weeks. Then we'll have 1 in the Panhandle of Florida and then ending. So they've kind of got a couple really close by. Biloxi, Orange Beach, and the Venice area already for the first 3.
Oh, yeah, correct.
That was a beautiful strap in. You see that? She got in the throne. She just clipped in there. She's a queen sitting on her throne with a big blue marlin on. That's what you like to see.
It's standing up. That tells you about this, the wind in as well, instead of sitting down in that seat, Peter.
Yeah, they're backing up on the fish. You can see her standing up. They're gaining line. They're taking up that slack. And if you see her start to squat back down, you know she's trying to pump that rod tip up and wind that slack back down. They all know what they're doing. Everybody you're seeing on these videos knows exactly what they're doing. They've been doing it forever.
Peter, when we're seeing these blue marlin jump well off of the end of the boats, I mean, out by the rigs at times, not in this specific catch, but way out there, how much for the viewer at home, how much line is on these reels, and really what's the capacity? If you hook up with one at the end of your spool, is there even a chance of you getting it in?
Yeah, there is. You'd be surprised how strong the line is. You can be fishing 30-pound test and get strung out all the way down to the knot on your reel on a white marlin, and a lot of times, the fish will flop backwards and you'll wind up catching them. I've been out by myself with multiple fish on, and they're 1,500 yards. I mean, one of my reels holds 900 yards. So these guys are probably at least 1,500.
And Robbie, you mentioned it, talking about the grass on some of these people's areas, the cover obviously in the water. That makes it a little bit more difficult, a little more drag, and also presenting your bait perfectly because these billfish can see it so perfect. If there's any kind of imperfection, they're not going to bite.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot more of that sargassum that Peter talks about in each one of our shows. Look at that. That's a massive mat that's out there. Looks like it might be tail wrap here at the end. But once they get into that leader, they have a qualified catch here. No, they didn't. They got it. They got it straight up. But you can see that vegetation that's still even on the lines coming through the rod end.
Got it.
Yeah, that's a tough condition, but you gotta be in there and you gotta troll through those areas because that's where the fish are gonna be for the most part.
You see the nice release. They cut the line there, and Tara, high five, very nice.
Let's go, let's go! Carter. All right, y'all hurry up and get everything ready. How'd that feel, girl?
Good. One in.
We on the ball, baby.
Woo!
Good job. Let's go, let's go.
Let's go.
And Dad, you the man. Good job, Cal.
Got one on the board. It's been slow. We're very proud. We're in the hunt right now. We're very excited.
Great job, Tara Hogaboom. The Gulf Coast Masters points as the boats go in and out to those rigs. Currently quantified on top of them all, led by in a miraculous day and a miraculous week with 7 sailfish, 1 blue marlin, 1 white marlin, Bandito, and most of the others behind were catching blue marlin. Except we did have another sailfish caught by a Badalkin dog.
Yeah, it's crazy, Robbie, to see 48 teams in this tournament, most of them catching 1 or 2 marlin, and to see quantified catch 9 total billfish in this tournament. That is why they're up top, and they have a good shot with just very limited time left before getting in.
Now, the points you can get fishing the Sport Fishing Championship, you get those event points, you get the catch points. They all add up for our championship total. But again, however you finish here, you get a placing. And with those placings, you get the event points. We placed down to top 20 teams. Again, 48 teams took off. We're going to give 20 places. Even if you finish 20th, that's 200 points. It's the same as the catch points. That's a sailfish and then some.
That is a little bonus, but the difference from 11th place with 1,200 points compared to first place 3,500, man, if you can get a win or a top 3 in a couple of your events for this division, you'll be on your way.
And this is the way it would look right now. And Southern Charm, again, consistency can win you that championship, back-to-back thirds, throw in those catch points. Moncherie, only 1 blue marlin, that's hurting them. But Peter, when you catch 6 at the first stop, it kind of puts you ahead of the curve.
Yeah, and if you compete and you get 3 tournaments under your belt, you're in it to win it. You have to fish at least 3 out of the 11 events. So a lot of these guys are fishing right there, and they can win $100,000 for their Gulf division, $100,000 for the Atlantic division, and then $1 million for the overall winner, which is going to be crowned in Puerto Rico.
Here's this overall picture right now, and you throw the Atlantic and the Gulf together. Doña Lucy, the winner when we were in the Dominican Republic. We've had 1 Florida round as well. That's the way it stands now, but more Gulf than Atlantic division. We'll see this change.
So far. The Atlantic is going to catch up in the month of July when we have a couple events, but looking at those point standings, whether it's the Gulf or the overall or this event, Robbie, Team Quantified moving from 2,000 points behind Moncherie and Southern Charm, being 2,000 plus points behind, and now being just a couple hundred points behind. They made up big ground in the second stop of the SFC for the Gulf division.
And guys, it also shows you that you don't have to have just blue marlin to win this thing. There are 5 different billfish species. We still haven't seen 2 of them, but with Quantified doing it with the sails, with you being in Dominican Republic, Peter, and catching all those whites, when you catch over 100 whites, you're going to get a lot of points. You don't have to catch just blue marlin.
Exactly. You want to be able to catch a variety of fish, but if you could stick with the blue marlin, that's just a fantastic way to go because they do garner the highest points at 350. And if you catch it first, you're getting 450, that extra 100 points. So the more blue marlin you catch, the better you're going to do overall. But listen, give me some whites, give me some sails, give me a couple swords, give me a little bit of everything, and then give me my spearfish. Man, we'll be off to the races.
I'm curious, Ronnie, let's take a look ahead with Smith Optics and where we're going to go. I'm curious to see when we're going to see that first spearfish, when we're going to see that first swordfish. It's going to come sometime. Who's going to be that one?
I don't know if we could put our thumb on it right this second. Peter probably has a good guesstimate, but when we get our look ahead with Smith Optics, I think I'm going to hop out of studio. You've been talking about how nice the weather has been with the Gale Force twins on site. I'm going to be on site in Biloxi, and I'm hoping that I take the good weather with me as well. But that'll be a great stop for the Gulf division, the 3rd event of that division.
There's plenty bigs as well. Ronnie, you're going to be going down to Biloxi. When I was doing my notes, I have blue marlin, I have swords on here, and I have bigs. So I'm expecting you to see swordfish, some blue marlin, and bigs, Ronnie. I mean, are we going to see them next time in Mississippi?
I believe we are. We are going to see blues and swords in Mississippi, and I'm looking forward to sitting right next to you there, Robbie. I miss you, buddy.
See, he is coming. He'll have a 2-week and 4-day-old young baby boy, and he'll still make the trip just to see what Biloxi has to offer.
Again, congratulations to Peter and his wife.
Yes.
Thank you, Ronnie, for joining us and filling in. And ladies and gentlemen, we get to do it again here very shortly. We'll be in Biloxi, Mississippi. We also have our Florida show we'll be talking about as well. But again, guys, thank you. Let's do this again. Okay?
Yeah, I'm good with it. 11 events this season. We got 4 in the books, and we'll have 7 more on the way.
Again, you can follow sportfishingchampionship.com, and we'll give updates throughout on social media. Again, they don't have to come in for a couple of hours, but you see, on top is quantified. Can they stay there? That'll be the big question.